Sunshine, welcome back to the show, brother. What you saying, my G?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I mean, yeah, another crappy win. Offside goal, you take it. I've had my fair share of highlighting our indifferences over the past 4 or 5 years with decisions that go against us. So it's about time we get something so basic like that in our favour, even if the performance didn't warrant us to win that game. It just so happened it was against Leicester and we've been playing poor. So yeah, I'll take the win. Because yeah, the performance was just dreadful. And I'm gonna say, man, I sound like a parrot, man. It's almost like I was somewhere in the future when I was making certain comments and statements about how long it's gonna take, and the real issues with this club, and the failure to apply their talent, which is another conversation that people need to understand from a sporting perspective, from someone who has competed at a very, very high level. There is a difference between having ability and applying that ability on that pitch, and then also having the culture around you that makes you want to apply that ability. Manchester United have not had that for the longest. So you can talk about a talented player. For example, we talk about Sancho till the cows come home. Is he talented enough? Of course he is. But does he have the application to apply that talent, one, to the Man United badge, but two, to a manager or a system when he's got to do things that most players don't want to do? The answer is no. So therefore, you get rid of these players, and no different with Rashford. It's no different with anyone else coming through. And I'm just sitting here like I'm just numb. If I'm being honest, Terry, I'm just numb. I'm sick of having the back and forth with fans. I'm just like, yeah, cool, you're right, wicked. You know your thing. Like, it is what it is. And I'm sick of seeing the repetitive notion of fan base being on this hamster wheel of the same manager, this systems, this style of play, this. When, let's be honest, none of that actually matters, man. Just none of it actually matters. So yeah, we just get the wins. I've been saying it from the early start. When any manager comes in, go and get your wins, because just like Liverpool started this season, I forget the bald-headed geezer's name. Genuinely forgot his name. Liverpool manager. Thank you. Yeah, when Slot when Slot came straight in, I had my opinion that the most difficult thing would be for him to start getting wins, because if he didn't get the wins straight away, the fan base would turn quick and be like, Klopp this, Klopp that, because they are patriotic over Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah,
Liverpool weren't playing very well at all to start with, let's be honest, but they were bagging goals and getting the wins. That settled the nerves, that settled the confidences, and that's what you need when you, in my opinion, and I'll continue to say this, any manager coming in, especially at United, go and get your wins regardless of the performance and style of play, because at some point you will build a confidence barrier, which means that you can rest on that and actually start to play ball at the same time. That seems to go over people's head. I'm hoping people start to see it now.
Yeah, listen, in terms of the debate about United, it's like I tweeted earlier. I'll debate VAR with you trolls in the comments all the time and robberies and stuff, but it's not about I'm not prepared to hear other people's opinions. Me and KJ actually spoke about this earlier on today. I'll ask people questions as the host of this show, but I'm not fighting for anything anymore. I'm standing by what I've said, but I'm openly admitting I could be wrong. I would just rather try something different this time. I want a fixed style. Now, I don't care what the style is. We could have picked Conte. We could have picked Pep. We could pick Amorim. We could pick fucking Steve fucking Cooper. Is that his name? Steve Cooper? Yeah, I don't care who the manager is. For the point I'm making, doesn't matter. Whatever we do, we've got to stick to it for a 3 or 4 year period. And it has to be a set style. No more adapting to the players. Not because I don't want to win in the short term. Not because I think, I know more about football than you, or you're wrong. It's just, that's the one thing we haven't done in the last 11 years. And I just want to try that. And I'm a little bit numb to it like you. Like, I wasn't sitting here 1-0 down in my studio, angry and fuming. I was annoyed at the players maybe not working hard, but I'm kind of resigned to how we're going to be for quite a considerable period of time. And I'm just over the idea that a new manager is going to come in, we're going to buy a few players, and we're going to suddenly look like peak Man United. It's going to be a long, long time. And I'm just prepared to go through that period and see what comes at the end of it. What I'm not sitting here and going to say is, I'm hypothetical here, Rhino, you're stupid because you want the manager gone already and you don't think it's going to work. If Rhino thinks that, I'm not saying he does, then fair. I'm just going to accept it as well. I can't fight over it anymore, because if we're being honest, most of us have had opinions around what would work and what wouldn't work in terms of changing managers in the last 11 years. We've all been right about some of it. We've all been wrong about some of it. The one thing we haven't tried is sticking with a manager in this way through thick and through thin. And the problem you then have is the polarized people. They're the only ones who are problematic. We said I can't criticize him. No, you're just being a dickhead now and being deliberately obtuse. Of course you can criticize things, but why don't we just buck the trend as Man United fans I'm going to go down the line and get him out? It's never going to work. You don't know that. No one knows that. So I just feel like, again, but if you think that, I'm not going to shut you down. You get to have your opinion. I just want to try something different. So maybe the end result will be different as opposed to doing the same thing for the 7th time on the bounce. That to me just seems the most stupid decision we can make is repeating the same thing for the 7th time in 12 years.
Yeah, and I know there's a comment here that I want to put up, and it says, we should not be getting managers that need their players to succeed. We need managers who can come in and just plug little holes and improve the players improve the available players. Yeah. Okay, I'm not feeling, I can't get with this notion, because can Amorim coach Maguire to be faster? Can Amorim coach Bruno to be stronger? There are some aspects of football that you cannot coach. You can coach where to be. You can coach how to pass, when to pass, how to finish. For some people, you can coach that.
KJ,
also ask Pep how he's doing. Like, let's ask Pep how he's doing without his players, Rodri and KDB at his best. Let's ask Klopp how he would have done without.
KJ, just quickly,
you need players who can.
I
play
said
your
this last season, Cam, bro. I said this last season with Ten Hag, and I said, as a positive example, and the example works perfect because I was Harry Maguire's biggest hater. So one, I'm giving him a breath of fresh air, but two, it makes my point clear. I didn't rate Harry Maguire, and I still don't. But I acknowledge that he was incredible for under Ten Hag over a period of time and settled in, did his job to the point where he was man of the match most of the times. Even when he was on form, his profile was still not good enough to move the ball out of the back as quick as Martinez, for example. So even when a player is playing better and has been coached better or whatever, even if I don't rate that player and I can still identify it, that player is still not going to ping those balls in and still have those quick turns and push it. It's just not going to happen. And the problem with Manchester United over 11 years is because you keep changing managers on average about 2 seasons, is every single manager has a different style of play, different profile. So when they go and bring their first main batch of players in, the next manager, who arguably is going to end up coming in, plays a different style, then has to work with those players. And the issue with that is the players that we're buying in for 72, 75 million, we can't then go and sell them on straight away anyway. Or we're going to make a loss because we've had businessmen and bankersmen making these transfers. It's not the manager who spends the stupid money. He wants the player. They spend stupid money. Therefore, the next manager goes and gets it. So then you've got 11 years of different profiles of players you can't get rid of, and you're expecting every single season to start banging out after a year. Makes no sense.
Do you know what I was saying about that comment? Where that comment, I think, would have held a bit of water. So when that comment would have held a bit of water was maybe 2017, 2018, when we had a pretty decent squad. You had like Greenwood coming through, a young Rashford, Martial, Pogba. I think that squad then, and the irony in it is that as fans, we turned on Jose because the football wasn't pretty, probably needed 2 or 3 more top-class players, and it probably could have challenged for a title. But what we ended up doing then is going to an Ollie, and then we ended up going to a Ten Hag, and now we've gone down this line. We don't have a squad. I don't think there is a manager in the world that could buy a couple of players and make this team compete regularly for a Premier League title. So as much as I understand that comment, I just don't think it's plausible. Rhino, what did you make of tonight's game, my friend? And long time no see. Hope you're well, bro.
Yeah,
man was here 2 weeks ago. What are you talking about?
yeah. But I'm not consistent.
Yeah, but you're a Man United fan. 2 weeks is a long fucking time.
Yeah, it is. Do you know what it is? Yeah, I hope I don't upset the apple cart, but I'm quite upset with Ruben today. And just to add context, because I know people are very reactionary. People like to listen to what they want to listen to and not take the whole context of what's been said. But just like I was on the Man Them Talk the other day defending Amorim, because when the guys started leaning towards the players, I'm like, guys, what are we doing here? Don't forget how bad these players are. But I think I support Ruben Amorim. I'm nowhere near Ruben Amorim out. I've still got faith in him, everything. So let me add that context there. Let me add the narrative there. But this Dalot thing, this Dalot on left back, guys, I don't know how long I can take it. I can't lie. I'm trying my best. I want to be patient. I want to kind of think, okay, you know what, managers going to have their favorites and whatever, but Dalot at left back, it needs to stop. It needs to stop. Because what the problem for me with this is that, you know, with the first half, we were very negative. Players were passing back. No one wanted to go forwards. Then I started to realize every player is doing it. Cool, fair enough. But I think when we just start with defensive wing backs, we just don't play aggressive. We don't play on the front foot. We're always on our back foot. And I thought, okay, you know what? When Dorgu comes in, we're going to just, you know, put Dorgu on the left side and play Ahmad on the right side. Because, you know, in this system, wing backs are the most important thing. So if we've got 2 attacking wing backs, fair play. You might argue, okay, who are you going to put in the 10 and whatever, but I just think in terms of our overall structure, the wing backs are the most important position. So that's why I'm very upset with him. I feel like I can see it becoming a problem because if it's a thing where here and there is giving us good games and it's a bit 50-50, I don't mind. But he's been a net negative for us. Same way as Højlund. Yeah. You know, I know we don't have any options up front, but yeah, the Dalot thing started to worry me, guys. That's how I'll be honest.
I don't think that's the wrong. I don't think that's disrespectful to him at all. I'm like you. I'm nowhere near wanting the manager out. I'm going to stick with him.
Yeah.
But I'm not understanding it. And do you know Dalot? If I look at Dalot though as a player, do you know why he's pissing me off? Because I actually felt that when he was, I know he has to get back and defend at times, but he's got a much more attacking role now. I thought he'd thrive.
Yeah.
Because I've seen him play as left back in a more pragmatic team and attack well. I thought in this system, I thought he would do so much better. He's probably been my biggest disappointment out of all the players under Amorim. He has probably disappointed me more than any other individual.
Especially with last season, because he's actually one of our best players last season. And I think the problem is for Dalot is wing back, especially Amorim's wing back. It does not suit him because he's now required to do the attacking like a winger, and he can't do it. He can't take man on 1v1. He can't put in an outside and chop man up and then put a ball in, and that's his biggest issue right now. And I think that's why like Ruben just needs to hold it and be like, you know what, this guy can't do what I need to do. He needs to be like Maz and put him in the right centre back.
I think the pressure conversation applies to him and Rasmus the most. You can almost feel it every time he gets on the ball now. He's trying to do too much, basically. He is overthinking. He is over. It's like, bro, you can't do those things, so stop trying.
No,
and even
I agree.
Today, he had a moment which I thought was hilarious, where he came in to help the play out, so brought himself well out of position, completely whipped it. That was when the ball went through to Garnacho, and that's when he had that chance to score the goal, and they saved it. Now, listen, if Rasmus did not do what he did, and this is where I'm like, I'm proud of my football sense watching this. If he did not pull himself so far out of position, he would have either stopped the defender from getting there because he would have boxed him out, or he would have had a tap in. These are players who are trying too much because they are just
I agree. I agree. They are all panicking out there. There's no doubt about it. But as I said earlier, the reason why I'm not panicking though is part of this intrigues me. Rivals are not going to like what I'm going to say because they know it's true, but they wish it wasn't. Playing for Man United is different from playing for any other team in England. The pressure is more intense. The scrutiny, the shirt waist heavy. And look, I like I said earlier, whether he's done it by design or it's happened, I feel like for the first time in a long time, these players are feeling the pressure. It's not like they're on a holiday. And maybe this is a great way of us working out who can actually cope. Because mainly he's had some good performances under Amorim, but he's had others where he doesn't. If you'd have just seen this young player last year's preseason, you'd have gone, loan him out, sell him. You would never have said, bring him into the first team. But I think we have to put the players through this pressure because we have to work out who can handle playing for a club the size of Manchester United, because the pressure does weigh heavy, it more so than anywhere else in England for me. So maybe there's method to this madness that we're not going to see the fruits of for a little bit longer.